Sad news that Brian Wilson, the founder and main songwriter of the Beach Boys, has been placed in a court-ordered conservatorship due to the fact that he has dementia. This story comes from Rolling Stone, and it states that Wilson's family has placed him in the care of longtime publicist and manager Gene Sievers and his longtime business manager Leanne Hard. And they mentioned that the close attention that he'll be receiving from them, he'll still be able to engage in whatever projects he's interested in doing, and he'll receive the best care possible as he deals with this debilitating condition. Now, one of the reasons that I bring up this topic is not only to remind people about the fact that Brian Wilson was a great genius and that we should treasure the music that he gave us, other than mourning his cognitive decline. However, there's another aspect to this discussion, which is the idea of aging in general. I recently did a video on whether or not the Rolling Stones are too old to tour, and I put up an accompanying poll. And the response to the poll was very interesting in that by a fairly significant margin, most people feel that the Rolling Stones are too old to continue touring. On the other hand, I had put up a poll shortly before that asking who was the best classic rock band that was currently on tour, and there were 5 options, and the Rolling Stones came out on top. So while people believe that the Rolling Stones are still performing at a very high level, they also simultaneously seem to believe that the Rolling Stones are too old to continue to tour. Contrast the fact that Mick Jagger is roughly the same age as Brian Wilson. Brian Wilson is being placed into conservatorship because he has dementia. Mick Jagger is running around out there like it's the 1970s, not like it's 2024. And I'm not saying this to insult Brian Wilson. What I'm saying is we should be happy that whichever rock stars from the classic era are still able to perform at a high level, we should encourage them to do so. We should celebrate the fact that they can still get out there and do so, and we should savor every moment of it. I also mentioned recently Neil Young as an example of someone who was performing at a very high level. And by contrast, I mentioned 2 bands, the Eagles and Motley Crue, who aren't doing so well live and might think about turning it in. So I'm not saying that every band should get out there, but I'm saying that every band should get out there if they can, and if it's worth doing, if they're still making music and their fans still want to see it. I'm sure that those who were lucky enough to see Brian Wilson perform, even in his later years, will cherish the memories, be glad that he got out there on the road, even though it wasn't always easy. Anyway, again, sad news about Brian Wilson, who is genuinely a giant of music and of American culture, and I hope that he is able to enjoy the remaining days of his life in as much comfort as possible. This is what I think, but what really matters is what you think. So if you have an idea about this or any other topic connected to classic or contemporary music, please drop it in the section below, and remember to like and subscribe. I'd also like to point out there's a new join button available for those of you who would like to support the site. And if you choose to join, you'll have access to members-only polls, members-only videos, and members-only badges, as well as other cool perks that you can see by clicking the button, which I hope you'll do. And one last thing is, I mentioned that we had a poll running right now about whether or not the Rolling Stones are too old to continue touring, and that poll is still open, so you can vote in it if you want to by clicking the link below that takes you to the community section of the channel. There's a lot of other polls there, as well as some interesting discussions going on from channel viewers, and I breeze through there quite often to see what comments are being left and what suggestions are being made. So if you have any thoughts on the channel or thoughts on anything else, that's a good place to leave them, as well as the section below. Anyway, thanks a lot.